Let's move on to Dr. Manfred Lambrecht. My question for you, Manfred, would be, how was your first contact with Juice Plus capsules? You've been on the other side, right, as a scientist. So that would be the first part of the question. And yeah, what was it that fascinated you with Juice Plus, right? I mean, yeah, let me hear that story.
I'm glad that you made this question, Ernesto, because it really is a nice story to tell. It was 20 years ago in 2003 when I was teaching at the medical university, physiology, so my field of expertise. And one of the students or attendees, he came up and asked me about a product called Juice Plus. It's a fruit, vegetables, and berries in a capsule, and it has exceptional health effects, and it's the best product in the world. So this was not the argumentation that has blown me away, because specifically at this time, several and multiple representatives of companies, food companies, dietary supplement companies approached me and told me that their product is the best in the world. So I told him and challenged him and said, show me the evidence. Well, is there any research? And so some few days or weeks, I do not remember exactly, he came up, but I remember the situation exactly. He came with a printed version of a peer-reviewed publication in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology by the group of Dr. Plotnick and his colleagues. And this was really impressive. So I remember that I asked him twice, so the product and that was tested, and this publication reports this study, and he said yes. So a publication of a dietary supplement in such a journal, this was the first blown away experience for me that really caught my interest. And when I read the paper, I also found out that this was not the first publication on the product. Already at this time, 20 years ago, I think it was the 6th, 7th, 8th peer-reviewed publication on the product. So this was number 2 that has blown me away, that there was a peer-reviewed publication on a dietary supplement, and it was not the only one. So there were already existing other published publications on that product the years before. So I found out that the research program at this time point almost existed for 10 years. So I was really impressed by the research, the content of research, the quality of research already at this time point, 20 years ago. And that this was the only company I was aware of who did this. Because companies in most parts of the world are, I don't even know a part of the world where companies or dietary supplement companies are forced to conduct clinical research. So it was a decision by the companies in the 90s, about 30 years ago, that they wanted to set up a research program and conduct clinical research. And this was fascinating for me and caught my interest and caught me with everything.
And so, okay, I mean, that's already very powerful that a scientist, right? And, you know, you ask these questions, well, yeah, show me the publication. And then suddenly there is a food supplement that has these publications, and then not the first one. I would have loved to see your face there, Manfred. I would have loved to see your face there. It's like, really?
Not me. I can relinquish to see that because it was for sure not smart.
And then you were blown away by it, and we feel it, right? And when we talk, you're so still full of passion, and you know what still is in Juice Plus, and what we still can even get more evidence of Juice Plus. And maybe we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next question. So thank you very much for that, Manfred. Let's move on to Gerald Tulzer. Gerald, for our partners, but also the new people here on Zoom, I mean, you've always been very closely connected to the Healthy Starts for Family program, right? The program where when the parents takes the product and buys the product, we actually ship the product for free to the child for a certain period. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but what makes this observation, because it's an observation over, I think over the past almost 30 years, more than 1.5 million families have participated in the Healthy Starts for Family program. What makes it so special, this observation, and why for kids? I mean, it sounds like, oh my God, food supplements for kids, nobody needs that. What is your answer on that?
Well, this is an observational study, as you really said. It's not a real scientific peer-reviewed study that Manfred was talking about. It's an observational study. But it's very interesting because it's a very high volume study. It's a total of more than 1 million, almost 2 million participants. So that's something that you can draw some conclusions of. And of course, as a pediatrician, I'm very much interested in nutrition for children. And it's about children. And we all know that nutrition of our children is really not the very best and far away from being optimal. And this is an easy way to bring children to the right way of a healthy nutrition. Childhood and adolescence is a critically important time in life where nutritional habits develop. And these nutritional habits really last lifelong. So what you learn to eat and what you are used to eat in these days, in these years, in these early years, affects the whole life. And every parent, of course, wants to do the best for the children. And one of the best things is just to teach them how to eat healthy. And as we all know, it's most of the time, it's not a matter of knowledge, because if you ask a child what is healthy food, everybody knows, okay, that's about fruits, it's about vegetables, but they don't eat it. So this is the real clue, how to teach those children, how to bring those children to eat healthy. And that's what I really like on this initiative from Choose Plus, to really support children with the Choose Plus. First of all, this is a product that has done a lot of research on. There are studies showing that this product is safe. Everything that we are giving to children over a very long time has to be safe. Safe, and safe. And it also has been shown that it's effective. So for me as a pediatrician, that was key before I will recommend anything to children. This has to be clear. And it was clear to me because of all these scientific background that we have. So then supplying children over a certain period of time with fruits and ingredients of fruits and vegetables, of course, it does some what we call metabolic programming to those. So if you're used to eating healthy, you will continue to eat healthy. And one of the key parts of this initiative, this study, is also that they include the whole family and parents, because the parents have to be a good example to the children. So it won't work if you just tell the children what they have to do if you're doing the opposite thing. So parents, they are the example for the children, and this is done over a very long period of time, so that children get used to eating healthy. It's not about only swallowing capsules all the time, but this observation has clearly shown that the children start to eat healthy. They eat more fruits and vegetables without forcing them to eat it. They are drinking more water, and they develop just nutritional habits. And we know that these habits will last lifelong. So this is a very important initiative, and it's a very easy way to implement good and healthy nutrition to children with lifelong effects. That's what I really like. And the study and the experience from over 2 million participants now have clearly shown that there is an effect.
Wow. I mean, that was, again, I think like Manfred Lamprecht, that was also something that you as a healthcare professional, Gerald, I mean, that was the safety, as you said it, like safety, that was the most important. Like, okay, if that is safe, then we can talk about the other things, right? And yeah, I think you said it as well. It's inspiring healthy living around the world. That's the mission of the company, and it's creating healthy habits. And why start at a later age? It's better to start at an early age. And you see in your action as a professor and a doctor, you see what happens to people if they don't, and especially also children when they don't eat healthy. And yeah, you've been on stages. You've been always a great supporter of Juice Plus, and we thank you for that as well. So thank you very much for your answer there. Let's move on. If we talk about inspiring healthy living, let's move on to Dr. Mitra Ray. Mitra, your story goes back also a long time. You need to say us how long ago you started with Juice Plus. Every time I see you talk, I see you on stage, you're always full of fire and as if you've heard about Juice Plus just yesterday and you need to shout it out to the world, right? So what keeps you fired up about this product? And it's been on the market for 30 years. I mean, wouldn't you say it's a little bit outdated already? I'm just being here. What do you say about that?
Well, okay. Health is never going to be outdated, and our challenges are never going to be outdated. In fact, we keep learning more about our challenges. When I first started, we only had the fruit and the veggie blend. And back then people were just learning about juicing. And we were first on the market to say, we made it better than juice. We call it Juice Plus. It doesn't have the sugar, but it has the fiber, and you need the fiber, right? And every time I look, and then we've added the berry blend, which was revolutionary because we learned polyphenols are like these magical compounds that help you slow down the aging process in every cell in the body. It cleans up your brain every single night that you sleep. You need polyphenols to detoxify the brain. The brain uses, I'm very interested in brain health because I want to keep my brain working, as I get older. It's very important to me. And so the brain uses the most amount of energy, and therefore it has the most amount of waste that it has to detoxify. And polyphenols are very important for that. And then Lisa was, so important for helping us come up with the Omega blend, which is so ahead of its time. We're going to just learn and uncover over time how important it is that we have all these plant omegas, that not just omega-3, which is what everybody else has, not to mention the amazing technology we use to encapsulate those omegas. And I'm always looking at like what's plaguing people today, and what's plaguing people today is gut health and metabolic health. Dr. Talzer spoke a little bit about metabolic health for children. So gut health, everybody has gut health issues, and we just recently published research showing how Juice Plus capsules helps you make more butyrate, which is a small chain fatty acid that helps you heal your gut. And metabolic issue, I can't even talk. I mean, most industrialized countries have, 10 to 12% of them have straight up type 2 diabetes. And the other remaining, like I would say at least 70% have insulin resistance. They really do. We've messed ourselves up so badly that most people can't even eat a piece of fruit without a spike in their blood sugar. That's how bad things have gotten. There was a time where I could say, just have fruit, it's great, you just have fruit. We're recommending people eat fruits and vegetables, but we're not paying attention to this important issue that most people are so messed up from eating processed foods, toxic laden foods, too many animal products, that they have messed up their metabolic health to the point that, they just eat there's hidden sugars everywhere, and people are insulin resistant. I discovered that I had become insulin resistant, and I pay a great deal of attention to what I eat. But this slight amount of insulin resistance I have really woke me up to this fact. And so here we have, and this is, I don't know if people can wrap their brain around this. We have fruit and vegetable nutrition without hardly any carbohydrates. So it's not going to spike your blood sugar, but give you those important nutrients that you need to keep your cells healthy. And it's going to give you the important fats that you need to keep your cells healthy. There's no other product that can deliver what people are trying to do with intermittent fasting and all these things that they're trying to do with cycling or going into a ketogenic diet. All these diets that are out there on the market, it doesn't matter what diet you follow. There's nobody who can't benefit from pretty much calorie-free, sugar-free micronutrition. That's like mind-blowing if you think about what is going on with metabolic health today. And so these products actually are becoming more relevant with time, Ernesto. Like whatever health challenges we come up with, whatever harm we figure out how to do to ourselves, Juice Plus becomes more relevant. So that's why I always sound like I'm this excited.
Yeah, I think they become more relevant. I think that is so, and yeah, the health of and the health of the cells. I think that is where it goes down to. I think it was also John Blair said the why for Juice Plus even gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Why people take Juice Plus and why you're so so inspired about by talking about this, and even just now in those few minutes, you can really feel that. First of all, you know what you're talking about, and you see it around you, how you can help and support with the Juice product. And you said it as well. I think people don't even know what we have here, right? People take it and use it. Maybe you feel a benefit, you don't benefit, but it is happening in your body, right? And that is the good thing to know. Thank you very much for that, Mitra. Before we go into the next round of questions, send out some hearts, send out some love, send out some thumbs up if you already thought that this first few questions were already like, whoa, okay, I've got something very special here, right? Yes, maybe you're a partner, been taking it for a long time. Maybe you're a customer, been taking it for a long time. Maybe you just started with this. This is what we want to do with you. We want to show you and tell you, that, actually not me, but them, that this is a very special product that you have here, and it's and you should treat it that way. It's a little gift that you give to yourself. So let's move on. You see all the hearts coming out to you guys. This is amazing. We're almost 1,900 people in the call tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's move on to round number 2. Let's get a little bit more in detail here. Lisa, this one is for you as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the production? I mean, you've just been at the farm, right? So talk a little bit about the production, the quality of Juice Plus capsules, of course. Is the product now the same as 30 years ago? And what is the same and what is not the same? You talked a little bit about that we enhance it. So I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, and I mean, to echo kind of what Mitra said as well, is we're constantly looking to continue the relevance and to improve that polyphenol amount that she talked about as well. So yeah, no, the product is not exactly the way it was 30 years ago, but the concept is the same. So we started off with Dr. Santillo's original kind of fruit and vegetable powders, and since then, the manufacturing process has actually improved. So we continue to work with our manufacturing partners to make sure that we are continuing to improve the nutrient content of the powders themselves. Sorry, we just almost got into an accident. It's all good. We're fine. Everything's fine. So we're constantly looking to ensure that the efficacy of the product is there, the nutrient content, that polyphenol amount, is maintained in those fruit and vegetable powders. But one of the most important things that I think we've done in the last 30 years is we've kept up with the trends in the industry. And so when we see new whole food-based kind of nutrient-dense ingredients, things like the folic acid that comes from lemon peel, that acerola cherry that we included that's high in vitamin C, those are the things that really excite me and help me to kind of make sure that we are bringing that whole food plus side back to nature as well. And that's really the biggest changes that we've made over the last 30 years. So it's improvements in manufacturing process, kind of making sure that we are working with the manufacturers to ensure that the quality is good, even agriculturally, working with farmers to ensure that we're continuing to improve the life cycle of the ground itself, making sure that they know what to do to ensure that the farms are going to be sustainable and really delivering the high quality, nutrient dense produce that we need for decades more to come, because we fully expect to be around for another 30, 50, 75 years. So we want to make sure that we are delivering back to the earth the things that it needs to sustain us as well. But I think probably what is, from a what comes next perspective, And what we've done to kind of continue the line is really looking at, what do we need? As Mitra talked about, we are all kind of looking at different diets, right? Everybody is looking at, continuous glucose monitors allow us to check our insulin resistance or our insulin levels, our glucose levels continuously throughout the day. So what are those things that we need as a society to help ourselves? So if you think about like the future of what comes next, I can imagine whole food based products that support things like, energy levels, whether it's managing stress levels or managing, energy during the day, managing sleep cycles at night. Those are things that I think are incredibly important. Managing, hydration throughout the day, making sure that we're delivering some of the best products out there, really the best products out there, but continuing to improve the lives of the people who take them. So to me, that's what kind of keeps me excited and energized every day, kind of really thinking about, where are we, where have we come from, and where can we go next?
I liked it when you said how we improve lives, right? I think that is what combines us all, right? The inspiring healthy living is really like the messages that we all get from the people, like how Juice Plus changed their life, right? And each have their little message and their little story about Juice Plus. And give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have a Juice Plus changed my life story, right? I mean, I really would like to see some thumbs up from the people that, yes, I experienced it. You don't have to write down the story, but you experience it. And what you said is, well, everything is whole food. I think that is, I know in conversations that we had, Lizzie, I was like, listen, it needs to be whole food. It needs to be natural. I mean, we're not going to do any of these other things, right? This is the base, right? And it's also a good feeling that when you talk about the producers, these are farms. It's not like you go into some kind of a plant where you say, okay, we are, these are, and we've seen videos about it. And actually, we're going to visit a farm in Chicago next month where you can just see how it grows and how it's processed. And those are families that have been working with Juice Plus for a long time, right? So very, very interesting. Thank you very much for all the love and passion you put into the product, Lisa. We really appreciate you and everything you do. Let's move on to Manfred Lamprecht. Manfred, my question for you is where Juice Plus stands out. That was like your wow moment. Is the clinical research that have been done with the product, not with ingredients and part of the ingredient, no, with the product itself for, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can say 28 years or more than 28 years. Why as a company do we do that, right? You said that it is special as a food supplement company. And can you briefly, I know it's very in detail, and you can go very in detail, how does a clinical study look, and why is it so extraordinary that we do this?
So addressing your first question, why is the company willing to do that? All this research, and I think nowadays it's easy to answer. It was much more difficult to answer this question 25, 30 years ago, okay, that the managers, and these are the real heroes at this time for me, that they decided to set up a clinical research program because we are curious. We are interested in more than just selling it. We want to find out the capacities, the possibilities this product can deliver or help for people's health. So then they started this program, and now today we have 47 peer-reviewed publications in scientific journals. For me nowadays, it's easy to argument why we are doing this, because this body of research is in this product category unique, and it's a big, big differentiator to other products to have so much peer-reviewed research, clinical research, demonstrating that the product works in several corners of our health without going into details. And probably let me hook into one point Mitra said before, and I'm very glad that she mentioned that. I would also say that nowadays, Juice Plus is much more, even regarded more innovative and more actual than 25 years ago. 25 years ago, probably it was even a little bit suspicious, putting so many things from fruit and veg together in a capsule. But if you look back the last 20 years, many fields, of course, research always develops, but now I think two specific fields in research strongly develop, like, for example, the whole phytonutrient topic. That is what Lisa mentioned on polyphenols, phenolics, and all these micronutrients, healthy micronutrients you find in fruits, vegetables, and berries, and also the microbiome research, for example. I remember I was at a Congress about 12 years ago, and I left there with a hypothesis that I said, I can imagine that polyphenols could act like prebiotics. And I was almost attacked by colleagues that they said, hey, we have no evidence for that. Why are you alleging this? Now, dozens of years later, we know that polyphenols have prebiotic-like functions, help and support our microbiome. And if they do, supporting the microbiome, they help our full body's health. So why are we doing that? Because now it's one of our key differentiators to others, and because we are simply curious. We want to learn every day more and more about the product and the probabilities and possibilities it could how it could support our health. So what was the other question? I think it was a clinical study, how it looks like or how it is conducted, right? Mm-hmm. So this is also interesting. So one of my job is to increase a network in the scientific world. So that's the reason why I do not appear so often for marketing purposes within a company or at events, because my job is that in the scientific world, Choose Plus has a reputation, let me say a gold medal reputation as a product, because the research in Choose Plus is so excellent. So to keep that network, to extend this network, and I think one important point here for me, I want to say, is that most of the research and studies that were conducted in the past were not conducted because we were asking researchers, institutes, and clinics whether they would like to conduct research on Choose Plus. No, it was the other way around. They came to us and said, we have an idea, a research hypothesis, we have research questions, and we would like to investigate your product because it's so interesting, because of micronutrients and fruit, vegetables, components in the product, to investigate it. So that's the first point, that many researchers are interested in Choose Plus. And so then, if we have this contact, they come up with questions and with a proposal how and what they want to investigate. So they come up with research questions. We call it hypothesis. So for example, if I ingest a product, it supports elasticity of the vessels, blood vessels, or it supports the immune system, or whatever. As most of our attendees here already know what Choose Plus is, how Choose Plus is able to help our health. So my job is then also to probe these proposals, see whether these proposals fit to the product, to the capabilities of the product from a research perspective, but also from a, let's say, from a regulatory perspective. So it doesn't make sense, even though Choose Plus would help to heal diseases, but it doesn't make sense to conduct studies on diseased patients, because we wouldn't be able to communicate that. Of course, sometimes we are close to that point. We have risk reduction studies, for example, what Mitra said before. There are a lot of chronic diseases out there, like diabetes was mentioned, so, or lipid profiles can be checked. So to see, for example, whether cholesterol is reduced, this would be a kind of risk reduction then, of course, as everybody can imagine. So to make it short, a proposal must first submit it to us. We check the proposal. When the proposal is okay, a study protocol will be set up by the researchers. This study protocol will be adjusted between parties. It also then includes budget aspects. Many studies are funded, or some studies are partly funded by us. So it must also fit to our budget plans. So studies are also not so cheap, clinical research. And once this is all set, we come to the contracting. And now this is very important for me to say. Once a study is contracted, from that point onwards, we have no say anymore what happens in this study. That means the whole data sovereignty, data collection, statistical analysis, data interpretation, and publication. So for example, if they find negative results, they publish it because we have no say on that. So therefore, this research, although it is funded, it's independent, because once we agreed upon this to conduct this study, we have no influence anymore. The only thing I could do is to send them replenishment when they run out of product and have to fix this with Lisa to make and ensure production and replenishment. But that's all we can do after that. So, and this makes also the Juice Plus research so extraordinary, because we are not interested to have any influence what the researchers are doing there. And therefore, it is also important to select good study sites, that these researchers ensure a good quality of the research they conduct. And for me, the main job is, before a study is conducted, to check all things out, that this fits to our research program and to the product. I think, and I hope I answered your questions adequately in that way.
As always, Manfred, very interesting, very detailed, very mind-boggling actually to know what all of that. Yes, people say, oh, it's funded, yes, but as of the moment that this is going through, we don't have any more saying in it. So it's more positive, negative. You said it, 47 peer-reviewed clinical studies published. You said one word, it works, right? Juice Plus works. I think that's what we all say. Juice Plus works, and I know in the chat people are talking about how Juice Plus works for them as well. It's gold medal standard. I like that. That goes round like, I like that. You know, I get like goosebumps all over my body. And so thank you very much for a little bit more details about how this works. And let's move on also to you, Gerald Tulzer. You yourself, you have published and authored more than 100 peer-reviewed clinical studies. So my question is twofold for you. First, the clinical studies, you hear all the randomized, double-blind, so maybe you can share a little bit of light in there. And then the second part is peer-reviewed, right? I mean, I didn't know about peer-reviewed when I started with Juice Plus. So what is peer-reviewed for the people that maybe don't know? And is every publication a good publication? Is every publication is gold standard? Can you say a little bit about that, Gerhard?
Okay, how much time do we have?
Yeah, I'll give you 7 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, as I said, I published a lot of studies. It was a lot of work. Okay, to get a good study published in a scientific journal, this is a long journal. Manfred has talked a little bit about how setting up such a study, and there are numerous ways to set up studies. But first of all, you need a concept, and you need to go to an ethics committee that looks about the concept. So let's say, like for instance, we want to do a study of Juice Plus. You have to set up an ethics approval, and these people, usually 10, 15 people from different parts of medicine and ethics and biology and statistics and so on, they look over this concept and say, yes, this is ethically approved or not. Ethically approved means you are giving something to children or to human beings, and is it safe? Can anything happen? What are the risks? What are the benefits? This has to be very well adjusted, especially if you give something to children or if you give something to pregnant women. And I have to tell you, there are studies on pregnant women conducted with Juice Plus as well. So the fact that ethics committees have approved studies to do with Juice Plus in children and pregnant women, I think is per se an excellent marker for the product. But this is the first barrier Then, of course, you have to think about how can we prove an effect. You can only prove an effect if you have a control group. You give choose plus to one group, and you give a placebo, it looks like choose plus, but it isn't. It's nothing in it, to a different group, and you look if these groups behave differently. So this is a controlled study because of a control group. But then, of course, we say when you get choose plus and you don't get choose plus, but just saying this, you will change something, of course. So best thing is that the groups, they don't know which product they are taking, which means this is a blinded study. So the control group and the choose plus group, they don't know if they are getting the product, yes or no. But they have to report about what they feel, for instance. This means blinded. Double-blinded means that also the researchers that give the product to the participants, they also don't know which one is the real product and which one is the placebo. So both groups, they don't know. This is a double-blind controlled study. Randomized means just you take a random sample of participants for that. So then you have the study conducted. You do all the statistics from two groups, and then you get the results. But then in the last portion, you just break the seal, and then after everything is on the table, you know which group was the choose plus group and which one was the other group. So this is a prospective randomized double-blind study, which is the gold standard of a very high sophisticated study. So and there are numerous studies that have been conducted on different questions with choose plus in a double-blind controlled way. So this is the best evidence that you can have for proving an effect and finding out what the product really is able to do. But then you have the study done, but then you have to get it published. And all the medical science and all the medical knowledge primarily have been published in scientific journals. And there's a ranking of scientific journals. There are very high ones, called the top journals. There are a lot of standard journals and the usual journals. And to get a paper published in a top journal is a real huge effort, because they accept only the very, very best research that's on the table. It has been brand new. It has been has to add new knowledge to the field, and it has to be be done in an excellent, perfect way in terms of method, statistics, and so on. And so these papers have to undergo first a peer review. It means you send in the journal the paper, they read through the paper, say, well, okay, we will check. Maybe this is interesting for us. And then they send it out to at least 3 different experts in the field, world-leading experts in the field. They get this paper. They don't know from where the paper is coming from. They don't know about the authors, but they just have to look again. How is what's the research question? What are the statistics? What are the methods? Are enough patients? Have the statistics been okay? Have the results been correctly interpreted? This discussion okay? The conclusions okay? Yes or no? And usually you get back a list of 15 to 100 questions from these reviewers that you have to answer and go back to them. So you have to answer all these questions again, send them in again. They go again through the whole process, and then they come up with a final decision. They say, yes, okay, that's good. This okay, we will publish this paper. And the top journals, they accept less than 5 or 10% of all papers that they get. So this is a real challenge. And Manfred mentioned the first paper that had blown him away. He said was the paper of Plotnik and Foley in JACC, the Journal of American College of Cardiology. This is currently the #1 journal in the world about cardiology. And you see, cardiology is a huge field in medicine. And to have a nutritional supplement getting accepted in a paper like the JACC is absolutely, it's really mind-blowing. It's something very exceptional. So this is peer-reviewed, published paper, prospective, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled.
I mean, I think that was really.
Everybody confused now, but
no, honestly,
yeah.
You nailed it. Honestly, I think that was really good within the 6-7 minutes. It was exactly what we wanted to hear. And again, I listened to it and I was like, wow. And for this company I work, and and this is what we are sharing out there. This is, of course, we are all excited talking about the mission, talking about our product. Before we go to the last answer here, let me know in the chat since when you take Juice Plus. I really would like to just see the year. Okay, so 1998 or 2015. Just let me know. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. This is good to see. Just see how many people since when they take Juice Plus, and look at those years. Right, there's a lot of people that have been taking Juice Plus for many years. Thank you for that. Mitra, the last question for you. You can finish this all off on a. Everybody is on a high anyway. Many people in this Zoom are taking Juice Plus for many years. We see it. Some of them, they are just taking Juice Plus since a few months, maybe this year. Maybe are thinking about taking Juice Plus. Right? This is like everybody is in this Zoom. So the question is, well, what is your message to all these people out there, right? How would you like to finish this call? And the people are maybe a little bit undecisive, but would like to, re-energize their feeling to Juice Plus. Mitra.
Thank you so much. Okay, for those of you that have stuck it out this long and listened for this long to all this geekiness, I have a gift for you. Okay, so I'm going to put it in here. Some of you have been here long enough, and maybe you've seen an article I wrote a long time ago because I was using Juice Plus as my prenatal supplement, and I was so excited about sharing nutrition for women back then, for pregnant women, that I wrote an article. Well, that was a long time ago, and it's probably been shared all over the world a million times. Well, I recently updated it, so I'm going to put it in here now. Are you ready? So you can go to my Linktree and find that article, or if you can't remember that, you can just follow me on IG at Dr. Mitra Ray, and that has my Linktree in the bio. So you can find that article and share it, and you can use Google Translate to make sense of it if you don't understand English. I was actually using Google Translate to answer somebody's question in German that somebody asked. But anyway, I also want you to know that you're in great company if you're looking at this product as a potential customer, or you just started the product. I saw somebody say, I started this product, I feel good, I got results, but then I read all this negative stuff about it. And it's, yes, of course, our competitors are going to write. Here's the thing about negative stuff. Imagine companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google. Do you think people don't write negative stuff about them? If you're big enough, people will write negative stuff about you. That just means you've made it. That's what it really means, is that you've made it. And that's why people are criticizing you, because they're threatened by you, as they should be. Because if you listen to, you have to understand, when we see each other at conference, or Lisa and I are talking product development, Dr. Manfred and I are always talking about research and what other research we can do. When I get to see Dr. Tulser, we chat, we get excited, we love this product. You're in good company. The people that are behind this product take the products, they believe in the products, they're always pushing, they're scientifically curious, they want the best of the best, they want to be associated with the best of the best. I went to Stanford Medical School because I wanted to go to the best school I could go to get trained in the field that I was interested in. That was like no small feat to get a PhD from there. So I've only been associated with the best, I'm proud to say, in my life. And so, here's the thing about health. You're going to read a lot of things. You're going to do a lot of things for your health. If I tell you, here's all the things you can do. You can do yoga every other day. You can do, workout lifting. You can do this. You can do this. You can do that. Amongst all the things you can do, there is nothing less expensive or more economical, more bang for your buck, as we would say here in America, like more value for your, euros or pounds or whatever. That there's nothing that's going to give you more value and so easy to do. We call it here the easiest lift, your easiest health lift, the easiest weight you can lift is the weight of a few capsules and a glass of water. That's your easiest lift every single day. Do that. Start there, because guess what, folks? With all the science I knew back then, when I was a graduate student, my health was on the decline. I ate whatever I ate. I drank coffee at 2 a.m. if I was doing an experiment. I didn't care. I didn't know. And Juice Plus was my gateway. It was the easiest lift. It was inexpensive enough that I could afford it as a starving researcher. And that's what got me started down this journey. And now I've become like, you know, a fanatic about health, okay? You can't do all the things I do when you first get started on the health journey, but you can pick up a few capsules and a glass of water. It's the easiest, most economical lift that will give you the most bang for your buck. That's what I want to end with today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was exactly what we needed to hear and how this call should end. And I'm not going to recap anything. I think it is almost 10 o'clock in the evening here.